Hi there, this is a look at the solving using logarithms practice worksheet. I know some of us were struggling with this a little bit, so I'm going to go through it real quickly here. As always, I am the amazing Mr. Jansen, so here we go. If we take a look at this first one, the first thing we always need to do is make sure that the exponential part of the function is isolated, okay? So we have to isolate that piece of the equation. Right now it's not. See, the exponential piece is this guy up here. Okay, it's the thing being raised to the power. So the thing that does not belong is the divided by 2. So we've got to get rid of that guy. So to get rid of dividing by 2, I'm going to multiply each side of the equation by 2. Over here, that's going to leave me with a 4 raised to the 2x. Over here, it's going to leave me with an 18. Now the exponential part of the equation is isolated, so now I can undo some things using logarithms. I can either use the common log or the natural log. But for this one, because it's simple and I only have one exponential part, I'm going to undo by using the same base as my exponential part of my equation. So I'm going to do log base 4 of each side. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other side, so I'm going to take log base 4 to that side also. When I do the logarithm, the log base 4 and 4 raised to a power cancel each other out, so I'm just left with the 2x. Over here, log base 4 of 18, I can rewrite using my change of base formula. So I do the natural log of 18 over the natural log of 4. And we do that because that's the one that's on our calculator. And now I'm just going to divide each side by the 2. And now it's just a job for my calculator. Over here, I'm going to be left with x. Over here, I just have to punch this into my calculator. When you punch this in, maybe I'll show this to you real quick. Let me get my calculator pulled up here. You just have to be careful with the parentheses, so I'm going to hit natural log, the natural log button, and again you can use the common log here of 18. Make sure you close that parenthesis, divided by the natural log of 4, close the parenthesis. And if you want here, you can do this in 2 steps. That makes most people feel more comfortable. You hit enter and now do the divided by 2 and hit enter again. But the reason we wait till the last moment to punch these in is because we don't want too much round off error. So I've got 1.0425. I'll round it to 4 decimal places so you can see where it all came from. Okay? Taking a look at the next one. For this one, again, the exponential part of the equation is not by itself. The exponential part is this guy. That's the thing being raised to a power. So the thing that does not belong is that minus 2. So the first thing I have to do is isolate. So to isolate, I'm going to add 2 to each side. I'm going to get rid of that thing. So I add 2 to each side, so now I'm going to have 5 raised to the x plus 2 equals 6. And now again, the exponential part is by itself, it's isolated, so now I'm going to undo using logarithms. Because again, I have a simple example, I'm going to use the same base that's over here, so I'm going to do log base 5 of each side. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other side. Over here, log base 5 and 5 raised to a power cancel each other out, so I'm just left with the x plus 2. Over here, log base 5 of 6, to punch that into my calculator, use my change of base formula. So I'm going to do the natural log of 6 over the natural log of 5. And now to finish solving this for x, I'm going to subtract the 2. And when I do that, again, I'm going to punch it all into the calculator in one shot here. Natural log of 6 over the natural log of 5 minus 2. That's what I'm punching into my calculator. So here we go. Take my calculator, clear out my previous entry. Natural log of 6 divided by the natural log of 5. Again, make sure you close off those parentheses. And the easiest thing to do is to make sure that you control the order of operations for the calculator. I hit enter, minus 2, enter again. So it gives me an x value of negative 0.8867. Okay? And in this case, yeah, negatives are all right here because I'm talking about exponents, all right? I'm not talking about logarithms where we have to get rid of the negative answers. Taking a look at the next one, again, the exponential part is the thing that's in the parentheses. So the guy that doesn't belong is that 4. So to undo multiplying by a 4, I have to divide each side by 4. So I'm going to divide each side by 4 so that I can isolate the exponential part of the equation. So that's going to be 3 to the 2x equals 16 divided by 4 is just 4. And now once again, because this is one of those simple examples where we only have one exponential piece, I'm just going to use the logarithm of the same base that I have for my exponential part of the equation. So I'm going to do log base 3. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other side. So I take the log base 3 of each side. Over here, log base 3 and 3 cancel each other out, so I'm left with the 2x. Over here, again, I got to use my change of base formula, so that's the natural log of 4 over the natural log of 3. And now I've got to divide each side by the 2. And just like in each of the previous examples, this is when it's time to break out my calculator. So I've got the natural log of 4 divided by the natural log of 3. And then I want to divide all that by 2. So it gives me 0.6309. Again, I'll just round it to 4 decimal places. If you only rounded it to 2 or something like that, that's fine. I didn't specify for this worksheet. On the next one, once again, the exponential part of the function is here. The thing that does not belong is the 7. All right, so I have to isolate the exponential part of the function, so I'm going to subtract the 7 from each side. That's going to leave me with a 6 to the x plus 2 equals 5. And now, just like the previous examples, since this is one of our simple examples that only has one exponential piece, I'm going to undo by using the same logarithm, the same base that I have for my exponential function. So I'm going to do log base 6 of each side. So I take log base 6 of each side here. Log base 6 and 6 raised to a power cancel each other out, so we're just left with the x plus 2. Over here, to do log base 6 of 5, I have to use my change of base formula. Okay, so over here I do the natural log of 5 over the natural log of 6. And now to finish solving this for x, I'm going to subtract the 2 from each side. And once again, I'm going to plug this whole thing into my calculator all in one shot because I don't want any round-off error until the very end. It's time to break out my calculator. So here, the natural log of 5 divided by the natural log of 6. Enter. And then subtract the 2. So once again, it gives me a negative answer, but again, negative answers are okay here because I'm talking about an exponent. Okay, negative answers in my exponent are fine. Negative 1.1018. That's where it rounds to. Okay.